Hi guys, it's Thomas here from COTBase.com. Welcome to a weekly COT review. Today we're going to be analyzing the 43rd Commitments of Traders Report of 2023, and as we always do, we shall start off by looking at the largest changes in commercials net positions. We are of course analyzing the classic, or as CFTC calls it, the legacy COT report type, and the combined futures and options data. Of course, we are only looking at a few market categories in these free COT reviews on YouTube. But of course, if you become a member, you can go and look at all the market categories that are available. Let's get started with our first market, which as you can see is live cattle. We've got livestock complex. Basically, complex means we combine sector data, so all the representative of livestock markets, which as you can see over here, livestock consists of live cattle, feeder cattle, lean hogs, and then those three can be combined. The COT data can be combined into one entire sector data. That's the uniqueness of this complex. But we are going to talk about live cattle. 35% change over here in commercials net positions. You can see a red line representing commercials over here, and this recent change is much greater than average. It is, I'd say, top three. It's hard to tell with your eyes, but I'd say it might even be the largest change that we've witnessed in the past 1 year. It is a bullish COT chain signal. We have seen a decline going on in this market for a couple weeks now. We have also witnessed a very strong Friday, so we may have already seen the market react to this COT change signal. Nevertheless, moving on to a 5-year chart, we can see that there is really not much of a stress signal in the market. We've seen greater and weaker stress levels in this market. So it's the current reading of commercials net position is somewhere in between the most bearish and the most bullish extremes. So it's really just the COT chain signal this week that I think is something of a value for traders who are trading live cattle. But moving on to our next market, we've got soybean meal over here. Here we have a 32% change in commercials net positions. You can see the magnitude over there. Once again, we're talking about a much greater than average change size. It is coming after about 3 weeks of rally. It suggests that we may see a bit of a pullback in the market in the near term. If we move to the 5-year chart, we can see that actually in relative terms, we had if we look at, let's say, a 2 years period, more of a bullish leaning stress level analysis. And of course, that may have caused this rise in the market. It wasn't anything all-time or close to it. You can see we had greater extremes in the past. But of course, if you do the COT index analysis and you set it for a year, 2-year look-back period, then you would have seen a pretty significant reading over there, suggesting a bottoming taking place at that moment in time. The next market will be coffee. Coffee has a 26% change in commercials net position. You can see that on the chart. We have seen similar changes in the past. I'd say an even greater bearish COT chain signal happened over here just after this rise. It didn't really do much. I mean, it halted this rally, but it continued. And what we're witnessing right now may actually be very, very similar to what happened back then. So it is a bearish change signal suggesting some weakness. We have seen weakness, especially on Wednesday. Will this continue on early next week? Time will tell. There's definitely the iCOT analysis that I like to point out in my reviews because it is our own tool and it does give you more frequent signals that I think you can use to benefit in shorter time frame trading. But anyways, this is a 5-year chart of coffee, and as you can see, if you take the horizontal line, you can see that commercials net position right now is somewhere once again in between the two major extremes, the most bullish and the most bearish extreme on this 5-year time horizon. So not much to conclude from stress level analysis. But let's move on and have a look at large speculators, COT Extreme, putting these markets in order based on the stress level. Euro British pound currency pair that has its own future market. Now I should point out that anybody trading this market and interested in COT analysis, please don't just stop here, but open the Euro and then the British pound futures markets separately to understand the strength and weakness in these currencies separately. But nevertheless, this is a market, and it has a 372 report extreme in large speculators. It is, of course, a bullish COT extreme, suggesting medium and long-term higher euro prices compared to the British pound. And I think this is a good point in time to just switch over to our iCOT intraday indicator for a second, and let me just show you what this indicator is capable of on a 1-hour candlestick chart. So we have spent many years developing something unique that can help in the shorter time frames, something that mimics COT analysis. So we are measuring stresses in the market, but in the shorter time frame. These are iCOT scores, the red and green lines underneath the price chart. And at certain extremes, you can definitely see what it does. Especially if we have both the green speculators and commercials in red. At an extreme, we get these so-called stripe signals. If it's new to you, then please come to cotbase.com and check out our indicators page, where you can really dive into the nuances of this indicator. We have some very useful example charts explaining what the different signals are. But of course, if you have any specific questions, feel free to reach out either through YouTube comment section or by just simply sending us an email to info@cotbase.com. And then of course we can help you. So yeah, this is Euro British pound. It's a 1-hour candlestick chart. You can see how well these green vertical lines, these bullish stripe signals, have managed to catch these interim bottoms in the Euro British pound pair, pushing it higher. So I can even show you what it does, let's say on a 5-minute candlestick chart, not to go anything like super deep, but yeah, there are some pretty significant signals. Like as the market went down, we have some very nice stripe bullish signals at these bottoms, signaling something is going to change. So a useful tool to supplement your longer term analysis in COT data analysis that you see in front of you right now. And we've already moved on to the Kansas City wheat, where we have a 166 report extreme in large speculators. This is, as you can see on the chart, and I always advise not just looking at the table and the numbers, but to put it in perspective, open a chart and see what that stress level really means. I think it's a good indication of a bottoming pattern, like not necessarily in the near term. These can take for weeks and months, but it does signal that something should be changing in the medium to long term in the wheat market. This is the Kansas City wheat, but I think overall, both in the Chicago and the Minneapolis wheat, we can expect a bottom to happen sometime in the next couple of weeks. And last but definitely not least, another currency, it's the South African Rand. Here we have a 52 report extreme in large speculators, and as you can see, it really is nothing to be too excited about. So it's not much. Definitely not something that I'd act upon. Again, you can just come here to our iCOT intraday indicator and use the wonderful tool. South African Rand, again, a lot of different currencies, of course. If you want, you can look at it against the euro, and you will find the iCOT intraday indicator working on this market as well. Of course, find something that has depth and trading volume, but it is a tool that you can really use on any market, stocks, futures, currencies, anything. So it's a wonderful supplemental tool to COT analysis. Thank you very much for your attention. Of course, there's a lot to do here. Anything related to the Commitments of Traders report, We offer you all the tools that we think would be useful. You can dive into specific markets. We talked about the Euro British pound. If that's something you want to analyze in depth, then of course you can do that. So we have the entire data set here. We have some wonderful indicators, as I've mentioned. COT Base Pro, focusing on classic COT analysis. You can actually use these tool sets in your own NinjaTrader. And the iCOT, standing for Intraday, is a unique indicator to really benefit from the shorter time frames, but using those COT analysis concepts that we're used to. Thank you very much once again. I hope you enjoyed, and I wish you guys a wonderful weekend. I hope to see you in my next COT review. Take care. Goodbye.